Oh, well, welcome to today's news. Start off with the weather here. It is minus 31 degrees Celsius, which is 30, or 23.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is chilly here in Western Manitoba. It's sunny. Little bit of a breeze, not too bad. But if you're going outside, definitely wear some gloves and gear up. Possibly wear some extra pairs of pants underneath, some pajama pants or some sweats or something. Or if you're into long johns, and throw your long johns on today. So that's the weather for today here in Western Manitoba. Now to the news, what's happening? Yeah, another guy was shot by ICE agents, blah blah blah. FAFO. That's all I have to say. You know, these protesters and stuff sitting here getting shot and stuff. You know what? Shouldn't have been there in the first place. So let it be. Again, FAFO. That's all I have to say about that. And in YouTube news, well, not really YouTube news. It's a combination of YouTube and SoundCloud. This is big news right now for a lot of streamers. So now SoundCloud is gonna start refusing access to music while streaming on YouTube. So people who are streaming indie music or any other type of music and stuff like that, SoundCloud wants their cut. So just FYI to streamers who are trying to, share new music and stuff like that out there. No word on Spotify if they are going to be doing this next, but by the looks of things, SoundCloud or Spotify is going to be right behind them with this news. So just a heads up, everyone. If you're using SoundCloud and you're wondering why your YouTube feed is getting cut, it's because you're using SoundCloud now. So everyone be aware of that. That's coming up. That's going to be a big thing because I know a lot of streamers out there using SoundCloud to promote indie music or their own music. But it's just sad that now SoundCloud coming up and being like, "Hey, we want our piece of the pie, the world's smallest violin, right?" So everyone be heads up for that. Another big thing, Ryan Wedding was caught the other day. And let me rephrase this. He was not captured. He was not captured. Ryan Wedding had actually given himself up. If you watch the where they're taking him off the plane, he's well dressed. Like he was almost geared up, ready to go, blah blah blah. And I'm almost thinking he might have turned himself in. This is just a hypothesis on what's happening with Ryan Wedding. With the price on his head right now, I think he probably had a fear for his life with the cartel. Why are you going to keep this guy around, this Canadian around, who's smuggling cocaine for you as the cartel leader? Why would you keep this guy around? Like literally, if I was a cartel leader and I seen the price on this Ryan Wedding guy's house or on his head, I just I'd unalive him and right there leave his body in the street. There you go. Now you got his body. You don't have to keep looking for him right now because that was putting the on the cartel. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So the US government just trying to find this one Canadian, they're going after all cartels. So not just the cartel he was working for, other cartel leaders would could easily have unalived him, 100%. So this is why I think Ryan Wedding actually did turn himself in, is because not just the walls were closing in around with the FBI, DEA, and US government, the walls are closing in around him from his own people, which is pretty sad. But there's a story on Ryan Wedding. What else do I have here? I had some other stories. But that Ryan Wedding, I knew something was fishy when they said they had captured him. It's funny how words can change things. Oh, we captured. Okay, what's the definition of captured? Here, should I here? Let's do this for the hell of it. What's the definition of capture? To take into one's possession or control by force. Ryan Wedding wasn't taken by force. It's funny how words can make a huge difference when it's said in the media. He wasn't captured. He gave up. So don't give the US government, don't give the DEA, don't give the FBI any credit. The only credit they get is for all the people who ratted him out, get his motorcycles, his Mercedes CLK GTR, which there's only, I think, one of 13 cars in the world. It is one of the most expensive cars ever to go up in auction. Besides the McLaren, no, sorry, the, oh, what was it? The F1, where he's sitting the sand. But anyways, whatever. Like they are all of his people who looked after his possessions. So the whole he was going to get captured either way, but he did it. I have to rephrase this. Their word, we had captured Ryan Wedding. That is false. They detained him. They detained Ryan Wedding. Didn't capture. So everyone think how you word and phrase things. Okay, because that stuff like that really pisses me off. Because they make, oh yeah, we got him. No, you didn't go get him like you did Moderno or whatever. Just doesn't make sense. None of this makes any sense. Oh, what else is going on? Blue Rodeo's going on their 40th anniversary tour. Anyone's aware of Blue Rodeo? Famous Canadian band. Quite a few awards given their way and other things. Traveled through Manitoba quite a few times. Oh, another thing, ice agents. Has anyone seen the new business cards for the ice agents? I should have went back to this from the beginning. Okay, has anyone seen these? I'll put up in my post. Everyone go back and take a look at these business cards. Here, I'll just give you a quick view of what these new business cards are. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, 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 oh. Focus. These ace of spades cards. So every time they detain, ICE detains somebody, they leave these ace of spades business cards. And what it says here on the playing card, the ace of spades, it says ICE, Denver field office, 3130 North Oakland Street, Aurora, Colorado, CO 812, and they have their phone number. Anyone want their phone number to call ICE agents? So for the Denver field office, it'll be 303 361 6612. Shut my ass up. Oh, good for you, troll. I guess you got nothing else better to do, eh? Hey, Rob, what's up? So, yes, the Ryan Wedding thing, that really, he wasn't detained. No, he was detained. He wasn't captured. He had given himself up. Yeah. So, anyone else want the ICE agent's phone number? What else do we got? Not too much happening here in Canada. They're promoting Mark Carney's big visit to Australia with the Australian Prime Minister for March. Hmm. Why are we talking about this now? Why are we talking about our Prime Minister going and talking with the leader of Australia? Anyone? Why are we talking? It's not until March. Why don't we talk about stuff that's happening here now? Or let's talk about what's happening with this China deal now, Carney. Hey, hey, what's happening with those electric vehicles? Hmm, especially with that 100% tariffs. And there's a big thing here in Canada right now. The way things are happening with this 100% tariffs and this EV deal that the you're so funny. It's been a while since I've had a troll take the dick out of my mouth. How about I take the dick out of my ass and I shove it in your mouth? How about that one? Uh, so big issues right now with this 100% tariffs and the electric vehicles coming in from China. It's dividing Canada. It is completely dividing Canada. A lot of Canadians are saying that we're throwing our hands up and selling our soul to the devil being China. Well, how is that so? Like, I don't want to talk shit or anything about the American president or anything, but look at what's happened just in the last couple months here. The US is paying the price, Canada's paying the price, the rest of the world's paying the price for all this stuff. Uh, uh, Canada is completely divided. There's a lot of people that say that, yes, we need to get okay, the farmers right here. This is what's dividing Canada right now. Our farmers right now are hurting to get our grains out of market. Okay. And this deal signed with China, part of that deal is they're going to take our grain as long as we take these 40,000 electric vehicles. There. Now the farmers are happy. There is a lot more farmers across Canada than there is auto workers. Now think about that. So where's the balance here? Like you're going to have to give up something. And with the auto market here in Canada, like I said, there's not enough people for them to really have a say. And we I don't think it's an issue bringing in electric vehicles from China. I don't think it's an issue. We'll get those 40,000 vehicles here, and we're going to realize that, hey, you know what? They either work or they're pieces of junk. And is that worth getting our grain out to market? Yes, 100%. Because our grain is worth more than those 40,000 electric vehicles. Now, our auto industry, we have parts coming from the US, parts coming from Canada, and vice versa, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. So we're paying tariffs on each other back and forth, back and forth. Doesn't make any sense. And what does Trump really want out of Canada? He's saying that we canceled the pipeline. No, we didn't cancel the Trans Canada pipeline. Uh, was that the trans or is that the transnational pipeline? Anyways, there's only like a maybe a kilometer left of this pipeline that has been unfinished. All they have to do is connect it, a line from all the way from Canada all the way down to a Texas refinery. So why isn't this pipeline finished? And why is Trump saying that, ooh, Canada, they aren't going to send us their oil anymore? We're sending oil down by train cars, train thousands of train cars of crude oil going down into the States. And they're saying that we're cutting them off from oil. No, that is not true. What's happening is the rail industry is pushing to not have that pipeline. Because if they put this pipeline into the States, we're going to have CNCP complaining. Well, there we go. There's a big chunk of our market gone now. We're hauling oil by train. You know, that's money in our pocket. We put this pipeline in again. That's like putting an electric rail line. Say if we built an electric rail line underground throughout Canada, like the Trans Canada Highway, and we had a high speed rail line that ran underground that could didn't have to worry about weather or anything, and it'd be totally efficient, electric, uh, very little issues to deal with in the long term. But then, say if we did have a rail system like that, the trucking industry would be gone, finished as we know it. Yes, we'd still have like truckers and stuff doing like deliveries throughout the cities and stuff, but everything would be brought in by that rail system, which would eliminate a lot of truckers. This is why we don't do stuff like this. And I know our country's talked about, Canada's talked about, we need to have some type of like high speed rail line. Well, it's not going to work on top of ground. What would be actually really nice to see Canada do something is if we did do a high speed rail line underneath the Trans Canada Highway. You know, there we go. There goes the fossil fuels, a big chunk of our fossil fuels. Not like it really matters in Canada, Like, what do we have to worry about? Us per capita, we're probably one of the least wasteful countries in the world. It's the rest of the countries that are wasting our resources, you know, and taking our good resources. The lumber industry, we sell it to the US and then they sell it back to us at like fourfold, sometimes tenfold. So that's another issue that needs to be getting dealt with. And another thing, paper straws. Everyone, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. Paper straws. How does this make sense? When I was growing up in school, like say 6, 7 years old, I remember we did like ban paper, everything paper, ban. I remember back in the day we had paper straws. And now we had to ban everything. Oh, paper's bad for the environment. We're cutting our trees down, and the chemicals used processed paper like muriatic acid, hydrochloric acids, all these processes, the natural gas that we need to burn to create paper, the fuel that we need to haul the lumber to the paper mills, the fuel we need to haul the pulp to the paper mills, and vice versa. Like there's so much money to be made in that industry. But we shut them down in the early 90s, getting rid of paper, no brown paper bags, no paper straws. Now we're going to go to plastic. And because someone filmed a sea turtle with a straw shoved up in his nose, now we can't use plastic? Okay, think about how much energy it takes to make a paper straw. Think about how much fuel. You have the logging trucks. Yeah, well, first of all, you have the chainsaws cutting the trees down. And then you have the trucks bringing the timbers to, the shredders, turning everything into, wood chips. And then you have it sent from the wood chips to the pulp mill. Again, there's more fuel. Now we're using natural gas to burn to make the mill. And then you have that fart smell paper mill that lingers through the whole freaking all the towns that have a paper mill. It's so funny. You meet somebody who works at a paper mill, he just, let me guess, you work at Tolko. How'd you know I work there? Because you smell like ass. So, and now think, how much energy does it take to make a paper or a plastic bag or a plastic straw? Now just think, a straw, a plastic straw. We could probably make like 5,000 a minute just from melted plastic. Now the process to get to that point is way less than going to back to paper. So what the hell happened? Why are we going back to paper? And with all the forest fires and all these wildfires and stuff, why is nobody waking up to paper again? Where are we going to get paper from? With all the forest fires and all these paper straws and all this other shit, where are we going to get the trees from? There's going to be a huge paper shortage coming up here soon within the next couple of years. And people are going to be like, "Oh, I don't know why we had a paper shortage." Well, like fucking half of BC's all burnt down. That's half of our forest industry. So are we going to use the wood for paper? Or are we going to use the wood for lumber? What's more important? Drinking through your paper fucking straw or staying in a fucking well-built home, with good lumber that's not full of knots? You shoot a nail into it and it doesn't explode into your face. The lumber we get here in Canada it's gross. It's full of knots, curves on it, twists in it. You look at it funny. You put a whole skid of 2x4s out in the sun here in Canada, in Manitoba. Put a whole skid of 2x4s out in the sun. And then throughout the day, as you're picking through that pile, watch the wood curl on you. It'll twist up on you real good. But bring back plastic straws and plastic bags. I miss my garbage bags for my bathroom. I miss my garbage bags for the kitchen. Garbage bags. It's not like plastic bags are just completely trash. Or it's an environmental problem. Look at everything that we go to the store to buy. Comes in a bag. All our vegetables comes in a bag. Everything comes in a plastic bag. Like everyone, you got to wake up here. Like, we got to get rid of plastic, but yet all our food products come in plastic. And yet, Ziploc bags. People use Ziploc bags like they're candy. Here, Ziploc bag. Oh, here, throw it in a Ziploc bag and throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. But yet, we're going to sit here and destroy the environment with harsh chemicals and cutting our forests down to make paper. Yeah. Not real impressed with how the world thinks. And another thing, people, sorry, just for the last little bit here, I'm not going to stay much longer. But just one point I want to really bring up here. When I bring up topics and stuff like this to people, people get irritated. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Or people get frustrated with like, well, that shouldn't happen, or that shouldn't be, and they get irritated. Well, you know what? It's kind of your fault too. You know what? I don't like listening to the news. I don't like listening to this shit. But at the end of the day, if you're not sitting there paying attention to what's happening in the world, like, don't let it bring you down. Just be aware that it's there. Don't just let our politicians and other people just stomp on you. Like right here, I had a fucking troll in here telling me to take the dick out of my mouth, which is kind of funny. But same thing with all these people who say, I don't watch the news, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to work the next day, and those people that say they don't watch the news, they're like, you know what? Something needs to change about this country. Something needs to change. Everything needs to change. This shouldn't be like this. This shouldn't be like that. Well, okay, then what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Okay, then shut the fuck up. You know, if you're not going to vote, if you're not going to be a part of like society, and you're going to sit there and bitch about the things that are happening in the world, and you're one of those people that doesn't vote, sorry, you might as well just go to jail because you lost your right to even think. Like, so everyone, please wake up. You know, take everything with a grain of salt and don't just watch one news media outlet. Watch them all. Because there's always some type of little hidden clue in that background that one news agency is going to tell you this, another news agency is going to tell you that, due to the fact that it's part of their own agenda. You know, I really don't keep an agenda. I try to keep a bias at everything. Yes, I make assumptions. I like to predict things. Uh, and if you have the ability to sit there and actually sit and watch some of this stuff that's going on right now, let it sit in and think, like, soak in, like, think about what's really happening. Think about a change that you can make. Like, tell you the truth, me, I just take everything with a grain of salt. There's no point about getting angry about things anymore. If you're gonna get angry, then start doing something. Put that anger towards something else. But yeah, that's the news for everyone today. I think I'm gonna start doing news every day. Probably around the same time. I'm gonna try and keep it consistent. Um, and then showing up around this time. This was interesting. I've got a one troll in there, which is kind of funny. I really wish I could post up what he had said or they had said, but YouTube got to it real quick. Yeah, people are dumb. Oh, so until then, everyone, watch the news, take it with a grain of salt, and you know, don't forget to go out and vote. Don't forget to like speak up, like call your MPs, fucking write letters, send emails. Like, you can make a difference. You just have to go and do it. And, you know, like, I've interviewed many people. Breakfast Seal, Josh from Breakfast Cereal. I interviewed him, and the only reason I got to interview him is because I asked. You know, it's like here we have people called Hutterites. They're like Amish, and there's this saying that I have. It's the Hutterite way, and Hutterites don't matter where they go. They go to a store or anywhere, and something costs money. The first thing that comes out of their mouth, can I get a better deal? Can I get a better deal? That's the Hutterite way. If you don't know, Or if you don't ask, you don't know. So keep that in mind too. You guys, you're always scared to ask questions or scared to ask somebody for help or scared to ask somebody for money because you're in a tight spot. If you don't ask, you'll never know. Okay, that's it for today, everyone. Peace out. Love you all. And if everything goes well, I will see you tomorrow. Waka 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 waka.